Hello, divine creations, divine marvels, children of God. Thank you so much for dropping by. So, I've just been feeling very strongly to make this video. I've been putting it off, and I just keep getting little taps on the shoulder from our friend. So, here we go. It's now September, and it's time. I feel like it's time for me personally, and as all of us, as friends of Bruno Groening and on this path, it's time for all of us to begin preparing for Christmas. What? What on earth? Why begin preparing for Christmas in September? Well, Bruno Groening said that during, and this is a paraphrase, I don't have the exact quote, during, that's a telemarketer. How interesting is that? That's what happens when you make live videos. So Bruno Groening said that during the month of December, again, this is a paraphrase, the gates of heaven open and that grace pours out through the entire month of December. So first and foremost, we're not just preparing for Christmas itself, we're preparing for the month of December. Now, this idea, in some way, all of us are kind of familiar with. There's this special feeling that even people who aren't on a spiritual path or aren't interested in Christ, there's kind of something special in the air during that time of the year. And according to Bruno Groening, there's actually a very profound spiritual reality and a very profound spiritual grace that happens. And so, first of all, we want to set aside, I want to, and I would suggest, and I think Bruno Groening is suggesting, that we set aside extra time during the month of December. And not just the month of December, but actually Bruno Groening said that this grace continues all the way through, I believe it's till January 6th, which may sound a little strange, but there's a very old tradition called the 12 days of Christmas. That Christmas isn't just celebrated on Christmas Day, but that we continue the celebration for 12 days, all the way through to January 6th. So, first and foremost, we want to make sure we have extra time during December to tune in. Personally, I don't do any Christmas shopping during the month of December. I devote that month to tuning in because I take Bruno's words very seriously, that it's a time of grace. And ultimately, this path is about grace. Now, we have to make effort to receive that grace, but so December is the time. Now, not only is it important to set aside time to do extra tuning in during the month of December, but we really want to be mindful of how we spend Christmas Eve night, and Christmas Day. Bruno Groening said that human beings celebrate Christmas completely wrong, that we've just been habituated to this way of celebrating that actually isn't accurate, isn't helpful, and that we miss out on the divine gift. We spend so much time on the worldly gifts and on the parties and on the worldly festivities that we miss out on the divine gift. Now, Bruno Groening never, to my knowledge, straight out said Christ returns to earth every Christmas Eve, but he hinted at it and he pointed at it. For example, he said, and how about that that Christmas song that says, and every year the Christ child returns to earth again. And then after quoting that song, Bruno Groening said, but who among you has taken this seriously? Who among you can really believe? So Bruno Groening never says, this is how it is, but he gives strong hints, strong indications that these Christmas songs we sing, such as Silent Night, such as this German song that says the Christ child returns to earth every year, that there's much more to it. There's much more to it. Personally, I stay up all night Christmas Eve. And I've done this the last 3 years, and each year I've had a very profound experience. And I believe I was actually visited by Christ. The second time I actually heard a voice giving me a very personal message. The first time I just had, I don't even know how to say it, as if for just a few moments I entered another reality. And the third time I did this, I had just again a moment of intense, intense love. So I plan to be doing it again this year. So I invite each person to really reflect on this, and you can read Bruno Groening. You don't have to take my word for any of this. You can read Bruno Groening's teachings about Christ and about Christmas on the Bruno Groening Stiftung, Stiftung website, which has texts of Bruno Groening's speeches, and one of them is God sent us a son, his son. And in this, Bruno goes into a lot of details about Christmas and about Christ. So I invite everyone to really reflect on these things, to really look at that speech, and to ask yourself. And in the speech, Bruno talks about how people have just been celebrating Christmas completely wrong. And so the invitation is to really reflect on these teachings and ask yourself, how do I want to spend Christmas? Not how have I been taught to spend Christmas, because the whole speech that I just pointed you to, Bruno's pointing out that human beings have been taught wrong about just about everything, especially Christmas. So to really take time and to treat this month of December as a precious opportunity. And as it gets closer, I'll be posting more videos. Take care, divine creations, divine marvels, children of God. Much love.